Hello, English learners. Welcome back to the Real English Podcast.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily, and I'm very excited for today.
And I'm Jack. It's great to have you listening again.
Jack, have you ever run into a friend in a strange place?
Oh, definitely. I once saw my neighbor while visiting Italy.
Really? That's so funny. What a small world.
Exactly. And that's our exact topic for today's episode.
Yeah, we're sharing short stories about chance encounters and coincidences.
This is such a great topic for our intermediate learners.
I agree completely. Why is it so useful for them?
Well, sharing personal stories helps you connect in real life.
That's very true. Everyone loves a good coincidence story, right?
Yes, they do. It also helps us practice past tenses naturally.
Good point. We use past simple and past continuous together a lot.
Exactly. For example, I was walking when I saw my friend.
Right? The background action mixes perfectly with the sudden event.
Have you ever struggled to tell a story like this?
I have. Finding the right words quickly can be tough.
Yeah, but structuring your anecdote makes it so much easier.
Are we ready to show them how to do it?
Definitely. But before we start sharing stories, let's jump into our vocabulary preview. Bump into. This is a great phrasal verb. What does it mean, Emily?
It means you meet someone by chance. You don't plan it at all.
Right. You just see them on the street by accident.
Exactly. Like I bumped into my old teacher yesterday.
Oh, really? Was it a little awkward for you?
A little bit. Yeah, it's a perfect phrase for unexpected meetings. Out of the blue. I love this idiom so much. It sounds very poetic, right?
It really does. It means something happens completely unexpectedly.
Yeah, like a sudden phone call. Why do we say the blue?
I think it means the clear blue sky, like a sudden surprise falling down.
That makes total sense. My cousin visited me completely out of the blue once.
That's a great example. It really sets up a fun surprise story. Coincidence. This is a big word. It can be a little tricky to say.
Yeah, coincidence. It means two connected things happen completely by chance.
Exactly. Like wearing the exact same shirt as your best friend.
That actually happened to me last week. It was such a funny coincidence.
Did you plan it together before you met up?
No, not at all. That's exactly why it's a true coincidence.
Right. It's a really useful word for sharing our stories today.
Now that we have our words, let's hear them in action. Up next is the dialogue.
Hey Mark, you'll never believe what happened to me this weekend.
Oh, really? What happened? Tell me all about it.
Well, I went to Chicago for a quick trip.
Nice. Did you have a good time there?
I did, but something really crazy happened. I was just walking down the street.
Yeah, that sounds perfectly normal. What happened next?
Completely out of the blue. I heard someone yell my name.
No way. Are you serious? Who was calling you?
I turned around and it was my old college roommate, Jessica.
That's wild. You two live in completely different states now, right?
Exactly. I never expected to bump into her all the way out there.
What a huge coincidence. Did you two get to hang out at all?
Yeah, we grabbed some coffee. We just caught up and talked for hours.
That's so cool. It really is a small world sometimes, isn't it?
It really is. We're actually planning to meet up again next month.
Welcome back, everyone. Did you enjoy listening to those stories?
I really did. It's always fun to share those surprise moments.
Exactly. Now it's time for our language takeaway section.
We have some really useful phrases from our chat today.
That's right. Let's look at the first phrase, which is bump into.
Yeah, in the story I said I bumped into an old friend.
What does that actually mean for our listeners, Emily?
It just means you meet someone by complete chance.
So it means you didn't plan the meeting at all?
Right. It's totally unplanned. It happens to us all the time.
I see. Can I say I bumped into someone online?
Good question. No, it's usually just for physical face-to-face meetings.
That makes sense. Like bumping into a friend at the grocery store.
Exactly. Next, let's talk about the phrase out of the blue.
Oh, I really love using this particular phrase.
Why do you like it so much, Jack?
It paints a clear picture. Something happens completely unexpectedly.
Yeah, it's like a clear blue sky suddenly changing without warning.
Right. In the dialogue, I got a message out of the blue.
It's just a great way to describe a sudden surprise.
Definitely. Have you ever had a sudden surprise like that?
Sure, my aunt called me out of the blue yesterday.
Oh, really? That's nice. What's our next vocabulary word?
Our next word is coincidence. It's a great intermediate word.
It really is, and it's super useful for daily conversations.
So how do we usually use this word, Jack?
It means two related things happen by chance at the same time.
Like meeting someone from your hometown in another country?
Exactly. We called it a huge coincidence earlier in the episode.
We also say what a coincidence, a whole lot.
Yes, it's a very natural reaction when you are surprised.
Right? Like if we both wear the exact same shirt today.
Good example. Finally, let's look at the phrase small world.
This is the absolute perfect phrase for today's specific topic.
It really is. When do we usually say this phrase?
We say it when we're surprised by an unexpected personal connection.
Like discovering we both have the exact same dentist?
Exactly. You just laugh and say, "Wow, small world."
It's so common in everyday English. You'll hear it a lot.
Try using these fun phrases in your own coincidence stories.
They'll definitely make your spoken English sound much more natural. So, we have our core vocabulary ready to use now.
Yeah, those words are super helpful for telling stories.
But how do we actually tell the story naturally?
That is the fun part, isn't it?
Exactly. We really need to build a good anecdote.
What do you think is the best way to start?
Well, you definitely want to grab their attention first.
Right, you don't want to just state the boring facts.
Instead of just saying you saw someone, you can ask a question.
Like, guess who I saw at the store today?
Yes, that immediately makes the listener curious about your story.
They really have to stop and think about the answer.
Let's look closely at that first pattern we just used.
It works perfectly for starting any unexpected encounter story.
You can use it in almost any surprising situation.
For example, guess who I saw at the grocery store?
Or you could say, guess who I ran into downtown?
It really sets the scene up so nicely for everyone.
Then you need to explain how sudden the meeting was.
You really want to show that it was a big surprise.
Our second phrase does exactly that for your story.
You can say, it happened totally out of nowhere.
I love that phrase because it sounds so dramatic.
It really does. How would you use it in real life?
I was walking, and totally out of nowhere, there was Mark.
Right? Or you could say, totally out of nowhere, she called me.
It adds great energy to the middle part of your story.
So, the surprise happened. What comes next in the story?
Now you and the listener react to the crazy situation.
We usually talk about the odds of the event happening.
Exactly. So we can ask, what are the chances?
That's such a common native speaker reaction to have.
We use it when a situation is just hard to believe.
We were both in Paris at the same time. What are the chances?
Or, we bought the exact same shirt. What are the chances?
It invites the listener to agree with your amazement.
Finally, you need a good way to wrap the story up.
You want to leave a lasting impression on your listener.
Our last phrase is great for concluding the whole experience.
You can finish by saying, of all the places.
This really emphasizes how incredibly big the world is.
And how crazy it is that you two met right there.
I saw my neighbor in Tokyo, of all the places.
Or, we ended up at the same tiny cafe, of all the places.
It's the perfect finishing touch for a fun connection story.
It really makes the whole anecdote feel complete and satisfying.
Now, let's listen to our conversation one more time so you can practice catching important phrases like bump into and out of the blue when talking about a coincidence.
Hey Mark, you'll never believe what happened to me this weekend.
Oh, really? What happened? Tell me all about it.
Well, I went to Chicago for a quick trip.
Nice. Did you have a good time there?
I did, but something really crazy happened. I was just walking down the street.
Yeah, that sounds perfectly normal. What happened next?
Completely out of the blue. I heard someone yell my name.
No way. Are you serious? Who was calling you?
I turned around and it was my old college roommate, Jessica.
That's wild. You two live in completely different states now, right?
Exactly. I never expected to bump into her all the way out there.
What a huge coincidence. Did you two get to hang out at all?
Yeah, we grabbed some coffee. We just caught up and talked for hours.
That's so cool. It really is a small world sometimes, isn't it?
It really is. We're actually planning to meet up again next month.
Welcome back, everyone. That dialogue is a great example of a fun coincidence.
It really is. Sarah told the story perfectly, right?
Exactly, she built up the surprise so well.
I love how Mark reacted too. He kept asking questions to keep the story going.
Yeah, that keeps the conversation balanced. Have you ever run into a roommate like that?
Not a roommate, but definitely old classmates. It is always a shock.
Now it is time for you to practice speaking out loud.
We picked out some useful phrases from Sarah's story.
These will help you tell your own amazing coincidence stories.
Make sure you listen closely and repeat after Sarah.
Try to copy her natural tone and her rhythm.
Are you ready? Let's get started. Listen and repeat.
You'll never believe what happened to me this weekend. Completely out of the blue, I heard someone yell my name. I turned around, and it was my old college roommate, Jessica. I never expected to bump into her all the way out there. We just caught up and talked for hours. We're actually planning to meet up again next month.
Great job, everybody. Practicing out loud makes a huge difference in your confidence.
It sure does. You are well on your way to telling great stories.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
If you had fun learning with us, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, your support really helps us create more fun English lessons for you.
We hope you have some amazing chance encounters of your own very soon.
Until then, keep practicing your English. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, guys. We will see you in the next video.